Why is it doing that?
I have no idea.
That's weird. Is that the camera?
Yeah. So she waiting as far as light wise. Trying to pick
It was
up
white balancing. It was your hands.
It happens.
Do it again.
Welcome back to the podcast. I am Moo.
And I'm Tiff.
Thank y'all for tuning in. I know we're kind of late on our last episode, but we still appreciate all the love that you all are doing. We're really not pressed on getting full episodes out like that because we believe in quality over quantity. But we do love that, you guys are appreciating I would say the shorts. Shorts are getting a lot of love.
Shorts.
My wife is a little under the weather and a little over the weather. So this will be, she's kind of in relaxed mode. Mm-hmm. So you probably won't get that much out of her, which is, it's fine with me. I don't mind, putting on a Michael Jordan jersey and doing what I need to do.
And alley hooping.
But, you know what I'm saying? It's what I do. It's what I do best. Podcasting and sharing what God gives me is truly a level of thing that I try to strive to do. So, babe, how you feel?
I don't know, like I feel with my hands. Ain't that's what you usually say?
Still say it, which is true.
Just, I don't know. Need to figure out why these perfume elements trigger me so much. That's the one thing. Because it's all upper respiratory, so I feel like my voice is very raspy.
Well, Tony Braxton did pretty good with her raspy.
I'm like Pops, like my voice is kind of fluctuates depending.
What is up with you people and your voices and stuff like that?
That wasn't so right. Have you ever noticed I never leave your voicemail?
I think because you got text messages.
No.
Who checks their voicemail? I know I don't.
I do.
Wow.
I have to because it tells you voicemail full.
I just delete it.
You deleted the whole voicemail?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't think to do that. That's smart. That's real smart. I didn't think to take that off. I guess I don't take it off. And the reason I don't take it off is because people that need you call me and people that need me call me.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This whole struggle with y'all, not really liking y'all voices.
No, I mean, I just know I got a heftier voice than, I'm not like, oh, so sweet. Yeah, I don't do that.
But what is the line in the balance of what a good voice is and what a bad voice? Is there anything, you gotta understand, I've seen some of the most craziest actors get $1 million deals because of their voice. I think it was a lady who played Bart Simpson or something like that. I don't know if it is. But
I think you're right.
They got voiceovers. It's so many different things that your vocals is needed for.
Oh, you said Bart Simpson?
Yeah.
I think it was a lady.
But the voice is so unique. You know what I'm saying? But people have a problem with it. I don't like hearing myself talk.
Nancy Cartwright.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I do better than what I used to. Because I used to not. I do better than what I was. Because when I first started teaching, I wouldn't do read alouds because I didn't like how it sounded like in my own ear. So I've overcome that in my years of teaching. Like I would teach and talk, but I didn't like teaching I didn't like my reading voice. So I'm going in and out now.
I think y'all too critical on yourself.
Oh, that sounds all right.
So, Let's dive directly into today's topic. I'm kind of sitting with this all week too. And go ahead, girl. And trying to figure out what are the 3 major threats to marriage, to marriages. If you had to pick some, your top 3, what would be your top 3 major threats to marriage?
What
kind and why?
What? Where did that even come from?
I'm an advocate reader. I keep trying to look. I know you think that I'm just this jock that doesn't read.
You're not.
Which I get it. But I love knowledge. Knowledge is power.
The 3
because perception is key. How you view it, how you visualize it is truly on you. What would you say for marriages? What is the top 3 major threats? Because they're threats.
I mean, I know it's threats, but my gosh.
Look, am I getting too intelligent and technological for you, or is this too
so basically that threatened marriage.
Yeah. Same thing, ain't it?
Yeah. Because you're making me dig down in the shanta nanta.
Look, people need some stuff like this. People's marriages on the rocks.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
Side chicks are trying to move to the major.
That's one side. No, I'm just playing. My goodness. Wow, babe. Finances.
Mm-hmm. Why though? Don't just say finance. I don't treat you like a teacher do. Don't just give me finances. Give me reasons.
Give me some reasons. Support your evidence. Every time, it never fails. Every time we're trying to podcast.
You got a little one asking questions.
Got a little one asking questions. What are you trying to do with that? I don't use words. You didn't already stop the like you've interrupted. What are you trying to do? No. Come back. What are you trying to do? Use words. And do what? So you're just gonna eat plain chocolate and plain marshmallows? Are you trying to make a science experiment by putting it in the microwave? Don't do no crazy stuff and don't make no mess. And wash your hands. Alright.
And we're back.
Okay, so finances. Because, well, I don't know, like, because money, oh God, leave, babe.
Probably should shot this tomorrow, huh?
Finances, because when it comes down, like, money becomes a thing that can become an object in a marriage. So it could either make you or it could break you. Case in point, if you had your own, well, okay, we share accounts. Like, we have access to each other's monies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our account, we have the same account. I mean, that is so people, because when I say share, meaning his account is my account is his account. Okay, our money is in one pot.
Mm-hmm.
But ideally, and I think historically, you're taught, or I know I was taught, your money is your money, his money is his money. Don't ever put your money together, because if something ever happens, you got to be able to have money to leave, and you need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And so you need your money.
So 1 foot in and 1 foot out?
1 foot in, 1 foot out. Okay.
Is that a full commitment?
I mean, I don't think it is. But, I mean, that was the mindset that I had, because I didn't know any better until biblically I learned, like, you're marrying to bring together. So money can become an issue on both those sides. It could become an issue because if the money is together, one person is doing more spending than adding. It could also become an issue because if you are married and then you got 2 separate accounts, and what needs to be taken care of isn't taken care of necessarily, then it becomes a problem. Because you got your, whatever you want, you got your money. Whatever I want what to do with my money, I can do that. Now we got I call it play money. Like money that if we want to, or leisure money, where if we want to go and buy certain things, we can, and that's divvied out in whichever way. But I know for me, you may give me money and say, hey babe, go buy you something, but it's still coming back into the house. So finances can become a huge problem when it comes down to it, because people fight about money. Why do people fight about money? I hadn't figured it out yet. But people fight about money.
I think because they were raised the way you said that you were raised. You was taught that keep your money. You got his money, your money.
Right.
So keep 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I don't think it's a full commitment. I think the very thing that you're more committed to the money than you are to marriage.
Right. So to speak. Yeah. Were you taught that?
Well, we didn't have money, so.
I mean, I didn't either, but
I've always been a huge, let's put out, I think, you know, they say 2 heads are better than 1. Okay. 2 incomes working for the same purpose is better than 1 person, you know, pulling all the weight.
Right.
I'm a team player.
And yeah.
No, I'm a huge team player because I feel like it works better that way. Like, and I think when we first met, I remember you being like that. And I was like, I remember telling you that, hey, my money is your money.
And I was like,
and when you feel like
you did,
your money is my money, I'll be ready. So it wasn't forcing you, because obviously this was something that was engraved into your heart as far as on relationship and on not just relationship, now into marriage.
Yeah. And I think too, a lot of times when money is a factor, I know for me, I'll give you the example. If you haven't gone and watched those How I Met Your Mother and How I Met Your Father episodes, that was so true in that moment, because had I not had money, I wouldn't have been able to move about like I needed to, because I would have been stuck. So in that instance, it was different, but it was different only because, and the reason why that worked in that scenario, because it was not a marriage. Whereas I did have to, and it wasn't just with money. You told me that it was stuff. It was tangible stuff, and you said, all right, what's mine is yours, and whenever you're ready for yours to be mine and you want to share, let me know. Because I would say mine, and it wasn't like crazy stuff, but I would be like, well, my student loans. You're like, no, babe, we married, so it's our student loans. But babe, you can go to school. No, babe, I took on your debt as well.
Yeah.
And so, like, it did take, and every now and then I might slip up and I might say mine, but like, I'm quicker to correct myself than what I used to be, because that could also be a hindrance, is the independency within a marriage.
Yeah.
Like that could be a threat as well. So you got the money and the independency that comes with it. And so, you know, all the women who independent, like those are things. And I saw it, I started to send it to you, but you know, my algorithms are so all messed up that when I went to go back to it, like it was gone. But there was a couple that said when your wife is independent. So like she was leaving the house and she opened the door for herself, but she turned around and her husband standing right there. Now he wasn't leaving with her, but you know, she was leaving out the door, but she stopped because when she stopped, he was there. And then she went to go take out the trash. Just natural, take the trash bag out and take the trash out. And then he come right there, so she dropped the trash bag and walk away. Or she leaving with the kids, but he's coming out to put her in the car, even though he's not going with them. Or like she opened her own door and get out. Like, and I laugh because even in that, which is very subtle, even in that, our independence can also be a threat because it almost goes into what Dad was saying today is, you know, it ain't no good men out there. You start then speaking that, but then when you do have the men that are out there, you become threatened as a female, thinking he trying to tell you what to do.
I think it's fire when he said, "Men don't never say that."
Men don't never say that. Men just settle until the good one, come around.
Like, you'll never. Not that I know of. You'll never hear a man talking about ain't no good women out here. Like,
yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that. But you hear women saying there are no good men.
And I think it's basically off their past experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to judge a whole
population
of men to say that there are no good men, it's just beyond
that's
me.
Crazy.
Like, that's just crazy. Like, I'd rather you just say I'm hurt and I'm just dealing with some things. I'll take that better than to say that there are absolutely no good men on God's
not a
green
one.
earth. Not one. So that's like, I mean, you haven't really been, and it's people who will say that and they only been like 10 miles out of their own radius, you know, and if you have traveled the world, you know, maybe your selection and what you're looking for
needs to change.
Like, something has to give. It can't always be there's no good men. Maybe your selection in men, you haven't been taught how to choose what is good for me. So you go with what's familiar to you.
Right. And not even your selection, just whatever your standards are. Like your non-negotiables may not be, your non-negotiables should be negotiable. It may not be something that, you know, should be on the list. So that's where, you know, you should be able to negotiate. Okay, all right, he 5'5", he not 5'9". Okay, a height is negotiable. You know what I mean? Like, well, he got a couple of muscles, but he a little round in the stomach. All right, yeah, take the couple of muscles. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times that becomes an issue because of what we expect.
But also too, you can't want a guy to have, you know, big muscles and abs and different other stuff, and you yourself don't look like that,
right?
You know,
you're right.
It's like what you was like. I believe what you look like in the state that you're in, that's what you're going to attract. That's literally what you're going to attract. So if you feel like, a lot of times I think, which, you know, a lot of women speak from their emotions, which that's just what women do, and that's just what they do. But for the most part, you're speaking from your emotions, and your emotions is got you into a stage to say, literally, there are no
good men.
All men are dogs.
All of them are. Every last one of them. Ain't none out here.
I guess, but continue.
But like I said, finance is the independence part because we want to do for ourselves as women. And where we mess up in a marriage is when we hear submit, we think that that's taking away our independence and taking away our voice and our right. And that again is something that we've seen. Like you said to me all the time, like, all right, there you go with your independent self. But watching the women, like the women in my family, they're all strong minded women.
Definitely.
Every last one of them, both sides of the family.
Definitely.
But what I also had to learn is learning what are my gives and takes. So not saying that, you know, I still have a voice in our marriage, but I still know that, hey, they got to take charge. Like, that's your role. Your role is, hey, I'm the head, I'm the protector. And there was at one point where I didn't, like, that just didn't make sense to me.
I know, right?
Like, I couldn't fathom letting you lead and still being able to say what I needed to say. But then I had to learn how to, one, change my tone, change my attitude, get out of my feelings, to be able to properly say what needed to be said, but allow you to lead without making you feel less than.
And the thing is, and what I've learned, nobody can ever make me feel less than anymore.
Mm.
Like, I refuse to give anybody that type of power anymore. Because I remember being in that state of giving people's opinions power.
Mm-hmm.
And those people's opinion and the power that I gave it almost had me take my own life.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say stuff to me, it doesn't stick like it used to stick anymore. Because my life is worth way more than what you think or what you're feeling at that time or at that moment. You're in a bad spot. Hurt people.
Right.
I get it. So for me, nobody can ever make me feel like less of a value, because I understand what's called self-esteem. Mm-hmm. It's esteem of yourself. It's your self-worth, your self-value. Like, so I think a lot of times, you know, coming into the marriage, I mean, it's like I said, we're basically trying to figure each other out. Mm-hmm. And still, to this day, I don't think you can ever really fully figure your spouse out, because how do you keep chasing them?
Right.
How do you keep pursuing them if you're not trying to learn something at least new about them? Because everybody changes.
Right.
So the independent, yeah, when it made more sense when I was around your family members. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Because you got to see ones that are in a healthy marriage, but you still see the dominance. The dominance, but still the respect for their husband at the same time. Mm-hmm. And like, that's the thing where, you know, watching like my Caritha and watching, you know, Kay, like those are women who have a very strong voice. Mm-hmm. And they are very well spoken in it, but then also knowing how to, I know how to take a seat back. And so having to watch those models.
Crazy, like when I was watching them, I was like, man, like y'all just can't be with any old guy. Y'all better ran that dude over. Giggy. But I mean, even your mom, same, you know, independent type of ordeal, you know, but some things just had to be broken off of you. Yeah. And that's all it was. It's reinventing yourself for the better good of the family. Yeah. And the growth of, that's why I think a lot of marriages get hit with all kind of threats, because there's no willing to grow past the first 3 years. First 3 years, okay, boom, you learn each other, you crawling. You got to think about this. I think of the marriage in the infant state. 3 years, you know what I'm saying? A 3-year-old is not sitting out here
going run to the bathroom and
getting, you know,
cooking some eggs.
You know, it's not like that. The growth of a marriage is the same thing. The growth of a childhood or a baby, like everything is in time, and like you don't go from preschool to college.
You try.
You have to learn these different things to be taught
right
on in marriage. And I think we get married and just forget all the life lessons of 1, 2, 3 instead of like we try to go from 1 to we want to be where the person who's been together for 30 years is.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's year by year, it's day by day, it's minute by minute, it's
Right.
hour by hour. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice of yourself? That's the difference in marriage. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Which is serving your wife or your significant other. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice for them? And also, you have to, as a man, you got to be like, what are you willing to say yes to? And then what are you willing to say, nah, we ain't doing that crap.
Yeah. And I mean, and like you said, that the first, I'd say 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Like that's that phase. But some of this can go on for a duration of the marriage. You know, early on we learned about how to do accounts from mom and dad. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, that was a struggle because I remember at one point you was like buying, and I'm like, wait, hold up. But when I saw, like, okay, that makes sense. Because you like, oh yeah, I got this. And I'm like, for what? We need, oh well, yeah, we did. We needed that. Mm-hmm. And so.
You talking about that 50-pound bag of rice?
Oh my God, you bought that whole 50-pound bag of rice.
Where's that 50-pound bag of rice?
Gone. We ate all 50 pounds. I do remember that. Oh my goodness.
That's right.
You said, babe, this is all they had. I said, babe.
It's around about that vid area, COVID
that was middle of vid. All I wanted was some rice, and nobody had rice. And you said that was the last bag at that. That was the last 50-pound bag of rice at Sam's. And I said, what we gonna do with that? You said, oh, I got an idea. And you went and bought one of them big old storage totes.
Mm-hmm. And got busy.
And put that rice in. We ate that rice, all of it too. Yeah. And we had it for.
It lasted us.
From what? The vid hit, that was December. Mm-hmm. Officially. From December, through like March or April, I think. And we was eating rice. And then we didn't get any more 50 pounds, but we got like 25. Yeah. Now we back down to, like 10. Every now and then, you do try to get another 50-pound bag of rice.
We just don't have nowhere to store it.
You got nowhere to store it. If we had a place to put it.
Not like we don't eat it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if we had somewhere to put it, I'd be like, baby, go ahead and get that rice.
But it's making those strong calls like that.
Yeah.
You didn't understand, but.
It made no sense. No, I'm like, what restaurant you think we running that need all this rice? But that's the way we ate rice too.
Yeah. High volume.
Hey, y'all stop slamming those doors.
But we ate rice at a high volume. So it was just, I had to measure, okay, can't really go out. Gotta be in.
Yeah.
Okay, what can you do to stop yourself from going out? This 50-pound bag.
That 50-pound bag.
This last 50 pounds.
And that's when we had rice with everything. That's when I started eating rice with cheese. Yeah. It was jasmine rice, and I was like, ooh, put some cheese on it. And that's what we had.
So praise God for that sacrifice.
Praise God. Yes, for that rice. All right, that's two, babe. I don't even know if I got a third one. A threat. Mm-hmm. I'll say mindset. Because a lot of times when you're in a marriage, ooh, that's good. All right, so is your mindset in the instance of you measuring yourself against your spouse. And where I'm gonna go on that is, you probably already know. Where I'm gonna go on that is, remember when you were able to be home with the girls, or I'll say with the oldest. You were able to be home with the oldest, but I couldn't. And then when I did try to like do the motherly things, she still clung to you. And it was just like, you're good at this, I'm not. You're good at this because you already have kids.
Yeah.
Like, we went through that phase.
Just rubbed in my face that I was a fornicator.
You took the child because you
know what I'm saying?
But like,
you can handle it because you had sex outside of marriage.
Right. You the one had all these kids outside of marriage. So therefore you already know how to be a parent. Pro. We ain't parenting together. We parenting separate because you already know how to do this and I'm new. Like, that type of mindset, I'm glad that it didn't break us. But it took me having to become comfortable in, one, being a new parent, 2, being comfortable in motherhood, and then 3, being confident that whatever tips and strategies and tricks that you had with her, you were able to teach me. So then I knew, like, I didn't know what she liked to eat because I wasn't home with her. I didn't know what she could do because I wasn't home with her. I was home on the weekends all day or any little breaks, but for the most part, when it came down to snack, like, I'll never forget. Remember you gave her them hard Cheetos? I was like, you can't give her those because she's gonna choke. And that's the same look you gave. You gave me that look and I was like, why are you looking? Because you said, watch this. And she like mucked and made it so soft. And she was getting it in and I tried to take it and she wouldn't let me take it. Because I was like, no, you got to give her the soft Cheeto. Remember I said that? You got to give her the soft Cheeto Puffs, not the hard ones. Oh. But I think in that moment, like, you were trying to teach me something, but that's that independence part. And so you were trying to teach me, like, hey, let me show you this. I've done this, but let me teach you what she likes. And she was satisfied. Even with the pacifiers. Chick kept hiding those doggone pacifiers. How many pacifiers? I don't know how many pacifiers we kept buying.
A lot.
We bought a whole heap of pacifiers for all of them to be down in the corner of the crib. Underneath the mattress. That's what she was hiding. Mo sister one hiding. That's where she hid all her passes. Because she didn't want them. She didn't want the pass. Or didn't she throw one?
Mm-hmm.
She threw one. Where did she throw that pass at?
Somewhere behind the bed or something like that.
She threw the passes. She didn't want the passing. But those were the type of things that I had to end up learning because I spent so much time measuring what you knew, how you did it, how well you did it, up against me.
I think the crazy part is that I was figuring it out myself. As much as, you know, and I think this is what people don't understand, what people don't get. Like, each child is different.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I never did was treat each child like it was the other child. So when you got multiple, because any parent can go to their children and be like, okay, this one acts like this one is this way, this one is that way. And they're all different personalities, right. Different personalities. So with different personalities, you're literally trying to learn a whole new person. Yeah. So, and that's what you kept telling me. He's like, babe, I'm learning. I'm trust. And he's like, it's a girl. It's a girl. I was like, but you had sisters, so you already It's know. A girl. And then you learned. You remember you doing her hair. Yeah. And you know that came from doing my sister's hair. Right. And I think like with that a little, but you were good at it because you would come and get me in her pony. She would have her little puff ball. You'd be washing her hair, and then that too, because she washed dad like a mud. She washed. You washed her hair. You did all the things. Yeah. And then so I got over that. Well, you know, Drip had long hair. Mm-hmm. Mm. I used to wash his hair, and I used to also straighten his hair. Mm-hmm. So I've always did what was necessary for my children. Period. Like, and I think that's why they cling to me as much as they do, because I'm willing to spend that time to say, okay, what is it that you like, and what is it that you know? What kind of kid are you? Which kid? And I give them that room to. That's why a lot of times I just let them play. If you let a kid play, let a kid talk, you can find out anything about that kid. Then you can find out what that kid's personality is.
Right.
Okay. You like hard Cheetos.
Cause I was like,
which were unhealthy, but
unhealthy hard Cheetos,
time,
and that's what she likes now. She likes hard Cheetos.
At the time, I didn't know no better. So, I was just trying to
pacify, literally, because she went to take
do what I need to do.
But even, and then on the other side, that's the parental side. But even on the spiritual side, I remember us having a thing, and I'm like, but you're at a different level than I am. And he's like, babe, what you mean? We're both at the same level that we need to be at. So it had to, like, in both of those instances, like, I had to shift my mind. It wasn't that God talks to you more than he talks to me, or he answering your prayers more than he answered my prayers. It was just, you were in a different place and position where God needed you to be, because that is then where we were able to tackle things such as finances, me thinking I had to be so independent, me measuring myself up to you. Like, it was almost kind of like we both started the race together, but God had to get you to a point, because I remember mom sitting us down. I can't remember if dad was there, probably was, but I remember we were sitting at a table and mom was talking to us, and she basically told you, like, you can't sign off on every single thing I do. You got to call me out. You got to call me out in my wrongness.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was tight. But that conversation, and then other conversations that she's had, that really helped me to see, like, oh, okay, this is where rubber meets the road. And because you're the head, you're going to be called to different things.
Yeah.
And so I just had to be confident in my area, if that makes any sense.
Confident being a wife.
Yeah. Because it was like, all right, well, what do I do? Like, okay, you do what you do. And then, I know, okay, and you calling me, hey, babe, we got to pray about this, or this is how we're moving. So in order for me to be able to do that, that's what we kind of had to hit head on. What do you think?
I mean, you think we know that?
You got a whole brother.
That talk put me in a position that a man is supposed to be. Because, how do you put this? Just like each child is different, each relationship is different. And I didn't want to take old habits from my other relationships and bring them into this marriage. Because those relationships were over, they were done. We all parted ways, went separate ways. That's just what we did, right? So in this marriage, and I thought a lot of times I didn't want to bring the baggage of the other relationship into a marriage.
Right.
So with me trying to figure out, okay, how do I treat this woman? And I'm used to that aggression type of relationship. I was used to it. Like, if you want to go ahead for head, like,
let's go.
Like, let's go. Like,
but you wouldn't argue with me though.
Because, like I said, those relationships was that relationships. Yeah. And with this one, I didn't want to bring those tools in there. And I knew me arguing was never a good thing. Because I think when I actually got saved, I was able to look back over my life and figure out what worked and what didn't, and what didn't work. Right. So if we argued and I went at you the same way I went at others, we'll still be arguing to this day. Yeah. Like, I don't like toxic relationships. Yeah. And I think that's what I know a lot of times you don't sign up for toxic relationships. It's
Don't.
not like, okay, let me check. Oh, are you toxic? Yeah, you toxic. Let's go together.
Yeah.
But when two people are unlearned and untaught, it equals toxic.
Right.
When nobody's taught how to deal with emotions,
Mm-hmm.
taught how to deal with being with a person in a relationship. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, nobody said, hey, when you're in a relationship, make sure you open the door. Make sure you put that woman first. I mean, it was an R&B song, but them dudes was hoes too. I mean, they were freeform giving too.
I am done.
But it's just one of those things, like, we were never given the blueprint of what to do as far as one-on-one in the actual relationship. Mm-hmm. Not just in a relationship, but one-on-one in a marriage for real.
Yeah, for real. That part.
We was never given that until we came around mom and dad.
Yeah, when we came around them, I think it was a little bit, not a little bit different, it was a lot of bit different.
They gave us the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah, and straightforward, whether we asked for them or we didn't ask for them.
And not only was it the do's and the don'ts of a marriage, but it's the do's and don'ts of a godly marriage. Mm-hmm. And these are two different marriages. You can be married, but is it a godly marriage? Because a godly marriage is so different from an actual marriage, which means you run things biblically. Because if I didn't, then after work, I'll go do something else, and I wouldn't care about, you know, I don't even care if she there or not, you know. I need my time, dog.
I need some man time.
But and it was like a switch that happened. Because when you go to the whole thing of, man, you more spiritual, like I had to get to a point where I had to be a leader. Mm-hmm. Most men have to get to the point where we are able to tell our wife, nah, wife, not today.
Right.
Nah, wife, chill out. Just like last night.
He's like, wait, let's just
like last night, y'all.
Okay, so
not that last night. We talking about like, okay, go ahead and get a scenario.
All right. So scenario is, I'm down, right? Got the upper respiratory stuff, medicated, highly medicated, right? My goal was make myself feel better so I can get up and go to church this morning. That was my goal, right? So I'm on the couch, I'm stretched out, I'm, sleep. I knew it was severe weather coming through. I already knew this. I already knew the timing. I knew this, right? So I already heard, I think the radio, we have a weather radio. Weather radio.
That thing almost got broke last
goes
night.
Off. Well, it went off at least twice that I remember.
Man, that thing went off dang near.
Was it ever?
3 to 4 to 5 times.
Okay, I only heard twice. Right.
If I wanted to turn into the Hawk, it was last night. I wanted to wreck. I almost wanted to just take the alarm off the house and hurl that thing to somebody's yard.
No, don't hurl it.
But I didn't. I thought about my wife. She said she would be so upset. Of course, I would show her the order of me ordering another one. It'll be here Tuesday or Wednesday.
Babe, I threw this one out. So the siren goes off. So I hear the alarms go off. Then I hear like the on the phone. So I'm like, anytime, alarm goes off on the phone, that's never, in the best interest of the people is what I'm going to say. It's never really a good thing. Or I'm not going to say it's never really a good thing. It could be a good thing because it's warning you. But in my instance, it wasn't a good thing because it startled me out of my sleep. So I got the phones and I got the weather radio going off. And so I was just really trying to grab my pillow and my blanket and go get in the bed, right? On the way down the hall, I catch our oldest eye. So she's laying in the bed. I got no pillow. She's looking like this. And I said, we good? We good. Mind you, I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything going on last night. I get on the bed and I'm like, hey, Mama, you can come in here, sit on our bed, because she's like up. Soon as I say that, then the little one is up. Can I come too? All right. So I already know like he's in the bed, right? So my goal is if I got me and the girls in the bed, we're good. So then the big sirens go off. Woo! Seek shelter immediately. I'm like, God, really? Because mind you, I am still full of all the medicine that I had. All of it that I had taken.
Let's just say she's high and lifted up.
I was. So I hit him and I'm like, bae, this is me hitting his foot. Bae, do I need to get the girls in the closet? So I was good. I was so good up until, I'm listening, trying to get on the live because as you all know, when there's severe weather, everybody, the news station go live. So I'm trying to get on the Facebook live. I know we're good because we still got power, right? And all I hear is, what is Lala in the Loop playing in the background in the girls' room. Got the girls sitting on the bed. He chilling. I'm trying to pretend like
I'm trying to go to sleep.
He trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to pretend like I'm good. So I'm on and I'm listening. And so then he starts calling out streets in our area. So then the big siren's going off. Soon as he called, I think like 2 streets in our area, it's crossing over such and such and such. Like the wind and the rain, you could hear it. And you could hear the wind like, whoo, and you heard like the rain and stuff hitting. And I'm like, babe. No, hitting him. This is me hitting his feet. Mind you, I'm still high and lifted up. The girls asking questions. I'm trying. It was all bad, y'all. It was all bad. So I'm like, get in the closet. So I threw them in, I didn't throw them in the closet, but they got in the closet. I threw a pillow in there with them or whatever. And so I'm hitting his foot. Bae, do I need to go get son out the? He's like, nah. Bae, he said, I'm gonna need you to chill. So I stood in the closet, right? Because he's getting up. So I'm like in the closet, the light on, and I'm like listening to, and I'm like, all right, Jesus. And I said, and I'm like, God, I just need you to calm me. And I said, I know we're safe, God. Keep, like I did my whole little prayer. I don't even know what I prayed, but whatever I prayed, it calmed me down because I was under influence of my cold medicine. But y'all, was so bad. He got up out of the bed, don't know where he went. So later I found out. So now they like, Mommy, what about Daddy? I said, well, Daddy's good. I said, we good. What about our brother? I said, he probably sleep. He has no idea what's going on. I said, if anything happens, Daddy and, your brother, they'll come to where we are. All bad, y'all. It was all bad. He was in his sleep on the couch. The son never woke up. Son never budged. Son never came out the room. Son didn't do nothing. Come to find out, son heard it and rolled over and slept a little bit harder.
Like his daddy.
And so I was just like, and then I was like, I asked him this morning, I said, hey, son, do you know what to do if you ever home by yourself and something like that is happening for real? Do you know what to do? He goes, I ain't gonna even lie, Ma. I really don't. So in that moment, it was a teachable moment, but it went to show that like spiritually, he had to hold me down. Cause like that quick thing, which could have went all the way to the left for me. Like he just said, I'm gonna need you to chill out. His chill out to me was telling me, all right, I'm gonna need you to pray. Like, not that he wasn't already praying, which I already knew that because that's just my husband. But for me, because I had to like snap out of being like groggy into full time. What do you normally do in this situation? Pray. I prayed, everything blew over, and it was almost instantly seemed like it went through fast. It was a fast moving storm. So yeah, that was this morning 5 a.m. issue.
And I was like, I think for me, because I had already been up for a very long time.
You had.
So that whole day, I think I was up. I woke up the same time I woke up when I got up that day, which was like 4:30 a.m. around about that time.
Yeah, because you was out of here early that.
So I'm
yesterday.
like, Lord Jesus, I don't have time for this. I know everybody's panicking, Father, but I know we're good, So she's in a frantic.
I was,
and I know it. So I'm just like, okay, maybe she'll calm down after a while. So I'm trying to go back to sleep. So I felt my foot getting tapped. So I said, okay, she must be really scared.
was eating that foot up. I like this.
So,
I'm like, bae.
So at the time, spiritually, and I'm going to give you the spiritual effect of what happens here, because I said, you need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got away. To me, I was like, okay, she's doubting right now the protection that God has given us over so many different other storms. So I had to separate and pull myself away from it to come in here. And literally, I sat back. Now I'm not scared. Like, listen, if it's time to go, it's time to go. Ain't nothing you gonna do about it. You're not gonna Superman fly out the storm. There's nothing you can do. Once something serious hit, there's nothing.
There's nothing we can do. That's true.
Nothing you can do. If something is gonna blow the roof off this guy, it's gone. We are gone.
It's gonna blow it.
You're gonna look at this podcast and say, "These two were really amazing on podcast." But what I'm saying is, I had to pull myself from the situation because spiritually, I had to get to a place of peace. And me, I have such a now. If the Holy Ghost would have told me, "Hey, get into the closet," I would have done it. But I have such a good relationship with the Holy Ghost, and we talk daily. I'm like, in the closet, out of the closet. Out of the closet, y'all good? Okay, it's like it always. This is normal. So I came here, laid down, put on some worship music, and went back to sleep.
Yeah, and then I put the girls back. Like everybody went back, and but that was that thing. And when you said, like, it was almost like that's what woke me up. When you said, "I'm gonna need you to chill out," that was what woke me up.
Need you to chill out. Went to the bathroom, and then went.
He did. He went to the bathroom, did just like it was a normal. But I think just the fact that I wasn't in my full mindset, that didn't help me at all anyway. And then he was like, "Babe, we got all the trees cut." Yeah, we did. All the trees got trimmed back in the yard. Now, that could have been, really a bad situation. But all those limbs we had before, I put up a good, I said a good disturbance to be able to get those trees cut back and cut down.
And I think the other, like when I'm praying, I wasn't praying for us because
no, definitely not us.
I was majority praying for those who will be affected by this thing. I like spiritually, and most men, like you really have to tap into being a true head of your house in the meaning of that, because I could have got into that. Okay, everybody in the closet, like, and then we all sitting up in there sweating, smelling like
Cheetos and Tostitos.
God knows what. And I'm already a nice sized dude in this small, cramped up closet. Man, I'm not going out like this. Nah. But in this instinct, this is where the threat comes in, that knowing the position and the roles that y'all have for each other.
Right.
It's not to, tear each other down. Because I could have just said, something, everybody just shut up.
Right.
But I'm such a
you're very calm.
I love that God is putting this cloak of calmness over me throughout just this transformation of really truly being in God. I have no worry about nothing. I don't worry about nothing. Like, there's not a care in this world. Like, my only thing is really getting people to understand that life without God is miserable, but life with Him is doable. And the reason why that is because you're lifting weight that's not really built for you to lift as a human being. So that's why a lot of people die early, because of stress, because of things like back in the childhood and then taking on other people's stuff that you are lifting and then trying to carry, and then you're trying to be a mom, you're trying to be a father, you're trying to be all of the things, and then you end up dying early. And to me, like, I don't want to send my body into that type of convulsion of panic for everything to be all right. I'm so like I'm very keen on that. Like leveling up my emotions. Yeah. Like, okay, what's going on here?
And that's what, and a part of that too is, you've told me that before, because I remember it was one year, I think the whole sky turned a different color. And I said, babe, that's not good. And you said, all right, I'm just going to finish up this load of clothes. I'm like, golly, he had different type. But that's when I realized, that was a few years ago, but that's when I realized, like, okay. And I think you've said that before, babe, if I'm led to get in the closet, I'll get in the closet. If I'm led to move y'all out of this spot and put you here, I'm going to do just that. And you know, it's really too, it's teaching our girls. Like, I mean, that was a perfect model last night. If I was independent and didn't want to listen to nothing you said, I still would have been ranting and raving and running through here.
You ain't gonna come in the closet.
You ain't coming in the closet with me.
You just gonna sit out here.
You just gonna sit out there. So you ain't gonna protect me and the girls. You know what this closet got, like, that's, you know, because all the stuff that probably was unsafe was probably at the top of that closet, you know. But and I thought about that too. So
I think the bathtub probably would have been better for everybody.
So So I was able, though, to model for the girls, one, how to listen to my husband, how to listen to him and allow him to lead. But also, two, the biggest thing they saw is they saw mommy calming herself through prayer. And that is the one thing that, despite how independent we think we are as women, despite how we try to measure ourselves up against our spouse, little money, a lot of money, no money, shared account, and whatever, however you decide to split your money, it still doesn't take precedent over what the sanctity and the unity of marriage is supposed to be, and how it's supposed to be based on the biblical principles. Because we get so turned away from those things because we let the threats slip in. But I could have easily just rebelled. Like, yeah, I was hitting his foot to get him up, but that was a for me, because he didn't need to wake up. He was good. It was me didn't have the peace, but I know that my husband anchors me. So the fact that he was aware, and he was aware of where I was emotionally, just those quick words. Hey, you need to chill out. Okay, I got what you meant. Got it. And it was just an instance. It wasn't woman pray. It wasn't woman shut up, which it probably could have been, because he was tired. And I knew he was tired. And I knew I didn't feel good. And I'm like, I got this man up. And I felt bad because I'm like, Tiff, you know better, which I do. I know all the proper procedures, because for those of you that don't know, I don't think we ever really talked. Well, no, we did a while back. If you ever seen the, I don't know what episode it was, but the review of the Twisters movie, you would have learned how much of a weather enthusiast I am with severe weather. So I knew what to do, but in that mindset of where I wasn't thinking clearly. So I wasn't. Prayer wasn't the first thing. And I told him, I said, babe, I'm sorry that I did the order backwards, because my order should have been me praying as I was walking to the room to make sure he was aware of what was going on, and then to bring the girls to where they just were comfortable. They weren't, I mean, and a good thing too, they were questioning, like, mommy, what's going on? What is that sound? And why are we doing that? And did a tornado hit down? And like, they were trying to get the information, whereas my franticness did not disturb the peace that they had, because of course they have that part from their dad. And so they were in a peaceful thing, but really just trying to gather information. Mommy, what does that mean? Where is it? Is it on the ground? Did somebody see it? And I'm like, no, baby, you know. So they are into it just as much as me, just trying to learn and trying to teach. And so last night they got a weather lesson and a life lesson all the same time. Never, hey y'all, when your husband wake up in the middle of the night every night, and he be at work all day, don't hit his foot like I hit mine, okay? Because he might not be as peaceful.
You don't have a Mo in your life.
You ain't got no Mo in your life. He might be like,
you probably got a Joe.
Hit my foot one more time. And I felt like that's what he wanted to say, y'all, but he did. He was he knew his wife.
The only thing I wanted to do was break that weather clock. That weather thing. I wanted a piece of that thing. But I mean, I love in our marriage that we, first of all, to get to the root of it. a major threat in a in a marriage is not realizing where you're at as far as in your growth process.
Right. That's good.
Like you have to. I'm very knowledgeable about where we are as far as in our maturity as far as marriage now. At first, I didn't know because, like I said, we're in the infant stage. So if you treat your marriage how you treat age-wise and experience-wise, you will understand, okay, yeah, so we're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up here and there. Now, if you still doing the same mess up that you did from 2 years ago in your 10 years, then,
check
you know,
yourself.
somebody's not growing somewhere.
Right.
And when it comes to this marriage, somebody should be pushing, you should be pushing each other to grow in some type of capacity, if anything. Because if you don't grow, then the marriage doesn't grow.
It doesn't grow.
It's a stalemate.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I like that we've been able to do is from year 1, 2, and 3 to now where we are, we've jumped leaps and bounds, but we've grown, but we're still growing.
Yeah.
And that's my thing is never get to a point where individually and in your marriage to where you are no longer seeking opportunities of growth, or where you just say, well, I'm not going to learn from you, because in that moment I learned from him. So I remember next time, learn from 2 people. And I learned from my husband that, hey, if he ain't here, he ain't moving, no going nowhere. And then our old neighbor reminded me of, Tiff, why you just didn't check the radar? You right. But even having to explain in that moment, like, hey, I know I wasn't in my right mindset fully, and moving like I probably would have done. And that's the biggest thing is even from that last night, I was able to admit, babe, you know what? I'm sorry. Because I did wake you up in a frantic. You were exhausted. And not feeling so prideful or above myself to go back to my husband and say, babe, you were tired. I'm sorry. You know, that I woke you up and by hitting your foot real hard.
Right. Regardless of the situation, one thing about me, I'm gonna be a husband.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation, I think like even a couple of nights ago, you were like, babe, my back is hurt. I'm like,
oh yeah.
She's like, okay, you know, it's just in so much pain. Oh my gosh, you know. So I had just not too long ago got home. And
we were in bed.
In the bed, fully about to get ready to wake up at 4 a.m. Like I normally do.
And it was 10:43.
And it
PM.
10, yep. And she was like, so I just started putting on clothes.
I'm like, where you going? So what you doing?
I just completely ignored her. Like,
he did.
Like, nah, I'm not trying to hear it. Babe, where you going?
Babe, what you doing? Babe, get in the bed. Babe, you got to get up.
I went to Walmart, got a heating pad, got some other stuff for her, and brought it back. And my thing was, and she was like, so you just going to ignore me? Yes, I'm going to ignore you every time you stop me from being a husband.
He did.
Every time you stop me from doing what I need to do when it comes to you, that's what a husband does, period, point blank. And I will not abandon that position because of something like tiredness.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, that like I was tight at first. I'm like, he ignored me. But I already knew what he was doing because we had already discussed it. But I couldn't get comfortable. And so in those moments, of course, that independence, I just told him that he didn't have to. But then the flip side of that,
I didn't get no thank you. Now I think about it.
I thanked you the next day.
I'm talking about that night.
No, I was tight because you ignored me, and I was mad that you got up and left out the house.
See,
no, I can't.
I told you, men go through a lot.
I was, because I didn't want you to leave. One, you know, it was already late, and I knew you was tired, so that was me more mad with my.
Tiredness does not exist when you're married. Period, point blank. If I said, babe, I need something, she'll be out the door. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I would.
So don't deny me my God-given
husbandship
position to be a husband. And most men, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, you got to know when to say no and when to say yes, when to go get and when to just relax and be like, no, it's good. I'll get it in the morning, something like that.
and that's what I want. I mean, and as a wife, I'm never. I always try to not take advantage of those things. But he knows that if I'm saying something is wrong, like I can't, like something is really wrong. So, thank you, babe.
Finally.
I'm done. I can't. So, what would you give the people as we wrap up?
Let your husband sleep. No.
Let your husband sleep during the storm.
Nah, what would you give the women who are tapping their
tapping their heads? Let me tell y'all when tap your heads on y'all make you.
If you're gonna tap you, make sure you get
So just make
you gonna wake him up. Make sure you wake him up
so
for
I
some.
woke him up tonight, and I make last night. So I make or this morning. So I make sure that the next wake up be a good wake up.
Thank the Lord, Jesus, help us.
No, but the thing that I would definitely say to do is we have to all of it just goes back to self reflection and self check. Um, and a lot of that we have to look deep within and see why are we thinking the way we think? Why do we do the things that we do? And how is that affecting our marriage? But more importantly, too, how is that affecting us and our performance in our marriage as wives? Because it is so easy to get caught up in, hey, this is what we used to do. This is what I've been taught. This is the cycle that I've been on. I've seen this person do it, this person. At some point, you have to learn how to break the mold, despite how you may feel. There were so many things that I had to learn how to break the mold when it came to finances. Like he handles all the finances. I might check the account, just make sure that whatever I'm trying to purchase isn't over what's in there. But other than that, I pay the bills. He tells me, whatever's in the account. But I had to get to that point to relinquish control of that. But that was part of that independence. Okay, our money's all in the same pot, but I'm still gonna tell you what we're doing with it. No, we've just learned how to say, okay, this is what's coming out, and then this is what we need. All right, what's priority on the list? So it takes communication and talking to where when it comes to finances, y'all are on equal and level ground. No, I don't have another separate account that he don't have access to or can't put money into, and vice versa. We just believe in having multiple accounts to fit the multiple streams of income. And then for independence, like I just had to not be so prideful, and understanding that it is okay to not have to do everything by myself and to admit that I did need help and I do need help, and then accept that. So accepting the fact of he's finna wake up, but he not finna like wake up and be in my foolishness. Um, and I'm not. I mean, or he's not going to. Uh, I mean, I would say that was a foolish moment. I mean,
I would say foolish is a human moment.
Yeah, that too. Well, I mean, sometimes it's humanly foolish though.
It wasn't. I mean, that's pure emotions.
Yeah, but he wasn't. That's what I was trying to find the words. Thank you. But he didn't allow my emotions to control his emotions. And so we have to be very mindful in that as well, and then respecting it. I didn't get mad at him because he disappeared. I already knew what he was doing. Where Daddy? Probably somewhere praying. Like I already knew that, but I had confidence in knowing that this is what he's doing. That's the covering that he has. Now, had he heard some rumbling and some shaking, I'm pretty sure he would have came and did what he needed to do based on that. And then stop measuring yourself up against your spouse. He's meant to do what he was built to do. God built men differently from women. We were not built to carry every single thing in every single way ourselves. If you are a single woman and that's the predicament that you're in or the situation that you're in, then your good man, your Mo for you is he'll be sent to you. But in that waiting, you just continue to work on whatever it is that keeps you bound or that keeps you to where you're feeling like you're hindered. So that when your mate does finally come, you've let go a lot of those things that could hinder the progression of your marriage. What do you have? I think that.
I think for me is
What do you have? What do you have?
I would say the key to a successful marriage, because I believe we do have a successful marriage. God first, first and foremost, and know that you have two people who are not perfect. So you can't expect a perfect relationship. You know, like you can't, like what you do. I'm trying to make sure I put this in a way where it's receivable. Like what you do makes, like what you tell her to do or what you're complaining about that person doing. Please make sure you're doing that plus more.
Yeah. You say that often.
Because it makes no sense if I'm sitting here pointing out, well, you don't do this and you don't do that and you don't do this.
But you ain't doing it.
But and you ain't doing a doggone thing either.
Right. That part. Yeah.
I think Mom broke down to us that, listen, you can't be with one hand building up your 9 to 5, but then tearing down your marriage.
Yeah.
And I've always locked in on what that is as far as, okay, how do we have a successful marriage, knowing that we're not perfect.
Right.
And I think is admitting that we are unperfect,
right,
but yet willing to still yet learn.
Yeah. It's the progression. I mean, it's that progress over perfection.
Yeah. And
knowing that.
For me, it's putting things in the right places. Put like you have to sit down and put things in the right places. And I think the last thing that really is a threat to relationships is, to me, which is why a lot of relationships don't last long, is communication. If you are not communicating, like I'll tell my wife, like, hey, look, when you did this, it made me feel like this. I communicate these things. Yeah. And I don't tell you so you can be browbeat yourself, but it's to let you know that this is what is affecting me and how it affects me. So then she can't say, well, you didn't tell me. Oh, yes, I told you.
I told you. You just didn't fix it. Yeah.
So you have to communicate the areas in which you are offended or an area where you felt slighted. Or you could have done this better. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could have, if you tapped me, you could have just said, hey, it's time. So, but to me, the key to marriage is laugh, love, live, and have fun.
That's it.
And romance. Somebody asked me, like, what did we do for Valentine's Day? And I'm like, my wife don't even celebrate Valentine's Day.
I did. That's I came suckers. Up there and I sat with you and I ate chicken, mac and cheese.
You know, like, we really don't get into Valentine's Day like that. You know? It's not really our thing. And somebody asked, like, so what y'all gonna do? She's talking about Valentine's Day. Love is every day for us.
He feeds me every day.
Like, we don't gotta be a certain day to show love and buy things. I buy things for her throughout the whole year.
Yeah. And I think this year was the first time I got something for y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, let me go get something.
And then I went on ahead and dropped the bag on her.
Did.
So, it's kind of like.
And then you had nerve to ask me, so you ain't bought yourself nothing yet. I'm working on it.
And the crazy part, dropped another bag on that.
Did you? You didn't tell me that.
Money being made around here. Nah. But it's these moments like this that you have to cherish. Because who says that, you know, number one, y'all have to wake up tomorrow.
Right.
And who says that, you know, when y'all leave out that door, that you have to come back. I hear countless of tragic stories about, you know, this person went to work and their life was gone and they didn't make it back home. That type of stuff. That makes me love my wife even more. That makes me appreciate her even more. Even throughout the day, I'll text her, love you, this is this, because time is precious, and I don't think we get that.
Yeah.
I don't think we understand that until the person is actually gone.
Yeah.
I don't want the last thing that I said to my wife, you need to chill out.
Why even though like that?
Even though I'm saying it for a good thing, she knows that, look, I want her to also know that I love her. That's why you're a praying woman. Use that gift of prayer to literally shift everything in this whole world. Yeah. So anybody know my wife, know she can pray to paint off the wall, then pray to paint back on the walls with a whole nother color.
Not a whole nother color.
But this is me signing off. I am Mo.
And I'm Tiff.
Thank y'all for tuning in, and we love you. Don't forget to try our Rise coffee.
I need some of that right now.
Okay. So we're going to get some Rise coffee. You check in the description
and we're gonna
below, and we're about to go in here and make some. We love y'all.